Happy Sunday from UCLA. It's James said it's freezing right now. But
Yes, it is. It is very cold.
yes. Okay, but let's get into it. Today we're actually here to talk about our experience as a peer coach and the 5 things we both learned as a grid coach this year. So James is gonna kick it off.
Yeah, so the first thing is that being kind to yourself is really important. I feel like we often have this idea that if we're nice to ourselves, it means that like we're slacking off and like we don't care. But that's really not true. When you are kinder to yourself, you're more effective. And I definitely find that as a grid coach, the times when I'm more patient with myself and I give myself space, I'm much more able to give space to my coachees in session. And I've also found that by giving space and sort of asking my coachees to be kinder to themselves, I in turn tend to internalize that as well, and then I become kinder to myself.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I know that I didn't start off being as kind to myself before being a coach, but definitely being one, I realized the importance of it, because if you don't know what it looks like, how can you model it to a coachee, and how can you help them reality check, you know? For example, some coachees might come in being like, yeah, I just absolutely did not sleep this weekend, and I like plan to go do this, this, and this. And sometimes my job is to be like, look, your goal is to be healthy. Like, are you okay? Like, is it what you need? So to do that, I think you do need to realize, like, you know, there's a level of self-care that people need, and being kind to yourself is a part of learning that and internalizing that and modeling it to your coachee. So number 2, definitely what we learned is listening. You know, like when you hold space for your coachee and being kind to them, like isn't about jumping in to solve the problem. Sometimes listening is just about, you know, making people feel heard. And do you want to share more about that?
Yeah, no, I think that it's really important to try and like sit in the emotions with someone. It's definitely like something I struggle with as a coach, is like getting past that fixer mindset of like, oh, I need to make it better. I need to make it better for this person.
Yeah.
But it's really important for me to like not stay in that, because that's not about the coachee. That's about me wanting to fix it for them, which is not serving them.
I definitely agree, like especially when you jump in to solve someone's problem without hearing them first. It might be the right thing, but like people aren't ready to hear it, and when they're not ready to hear it, they don't take it, and it's like they shut down. And your job as a coach is to hold space so people open up, right? And I think it's really important. And as a coach, I do agree with James. Like I also have the fixer mindset, so I tend to jump in. So what I actually have to do is really remind myself of that. So when I feel the urge to like jump into a problem, literally ground myself, like feet on the ground, or even do other things, like for example, play with like a pipe cleaner, something that will help me stay in the moment and also make it about them. So yeah, if you're a fixer mindset, watch out.
And then number 3, everyone is on their own journey. So this one is definitely very interconnected with the last one we talked about. It's just important to remember that everyone is going at their own pace. Everyone is at their own place, and you should do your best. I do my best to listen without judgment and to validate them in whatever they're struggling with. And it's important because it takes the pressure off of you as a listener to like know how everything should be going, to sort of have this like mentor role and advice giving role. You can sort of relieve yourself of that and realize that, you know, as a great coach, you're just one light on their journey wherever they're headed.
Agree. Yeah, definitely. And it helps because remember, as a coach, you carry 5 other people's story, and technically you're not supposed to carry it all week because it's too heavy. And one way of doing that is making sure that you reality check and know that, you know, everyone is on their journey. You are on yours, the coaches are on theirs. So your job is to help hold them accountable and help them recognize what their journey is. And I think it definitely helps because like I know that sometimes like me and my coaches have similar goals, like being healthy and taking time off, being less involved because we're over involved. And sometimes I tie my success as a coach in too much with them achieving that particular goal, when in fact it isn't about that. It's about like, are they taking the mini steps? Are they recognizing like when they're not doing well, and are they processing that and just wanting to get better? So, and that's definitely not about them succeeding and me pushing them. It's about them wanting to succeed, and I think that's definitely a difference there. So number 4, takeaway is for both coachees and coaches, learning how to set realistic goals.
Yeah, it's very important. Like when you try to set too many goals or too big goals all at once, you sort of can set yourself up for failure. And so with coaches, sometimes they come in with all these ambitions and they're like, I'm going to change this and this and this and overhaul my sleep schedule and start this new way of my like organizing my planner and all this stuff. And it's so much. And then they end up
Yeah.
not being able to achieve it, and then they feel so bad because it didn't work. So it tends to be a lot better to set small goals, and so then each time you achieve a small goal, you gain a little bit more confidence, and you sort of have this momentum.
That is very true. I'm smiling because I think back to like when I first started coaching, and I would just send work so long, maybe have an hour or more on emails with their goals, and I would write out in detail like 4 or 5 goals for them, and I'd ask them next week, and they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't get to it. It was too busy."
Aw.
So it's definitely true. So now what I try to do is definitely help them like filter down to one thing, one baby step. And then actually they achieve, for example, time blocking. I'm like, okay, you try one day, 1 hour of time blocking. And they do achieve that, and they email me like, thank you, it actually worked. So I definitely think you should try it. And personally too, right? Many goals that you can achieve
yeah.
really does give
Definitely.
motivation.
Yeah.
Okay, well, last thing, it may sound like a change of subject, but number 5, in coaching and in other interactions, silence is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In coaching, it can feel really scary if you're not entirely sure what to say, or there's like a moment where no one's saying anything at all. And there's sort of this urge to jump in and like change the topic, or like just say something else just to sort of fill the space. But that's not necessarily the best thing to do. Silence can be a really good tool for like letting people know that you want to listen to them. So like sometimes coaches aren't sure if they want to share something, and they're sitting there thinking about it, or they need a minute to process before they can go on. And so by sitting there and just waiting for them to see where they want to go with the session, can be very empowering for them, and it can really help show them that you're hearing them and you're really there to listen.
I definitely agree, and I think it ties in with cultural humility, just because I know we both had international coaches who really raised concern about like, did you guys understand what we're saying? And I think being able to hold silence and then like validating them like, oh, that was fine, that was for you, like it's intentional, like really helps. And then so it applies to many situations, especially for people who are like learning the language, or even people who do need time to think through things and discover like their insights. So yeah. I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
There's definitely more than 5 insights, but we'll let you experience it and learn for yourself. So a plug for Grid Peer Coaching. I think we both learned a lot. I'm graduating this year. James is next year, right?
Yeah. I'll be coming back as a coach next in the fall.
Yeah. And even though I'm not coaching anymore, I do think that the takeaways are really valuable, and it has helped me personally in my group projects at UCLA and even in my communication with my family. So I think they're worth thinking about. And if you want to learn more, definitely like check out our resources on our social media and like maybe get a coach.
Yeah. Thanks for
Plug.
watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye.